course, we are talking about the Heretics and Lullabies coming out October 10th. So, talking about the album and the music, what are the main ideas behind the upcoming album?
So the album kind of explores heartbreak, mental health, depression. A lot of these things are common themes throughout a lot of our music as well. This one specifically explores a little bit more into heresy and how that um, is incorporated in daily life and how people think of different things as heresy, where we see it as just normal life.
Going maybe deeper into the music, how was this album worked on? Like, in what time frame, and how did you work on the music and lyrics?
So musically, I think it took us about a year and a half to write it, and then we actually recorded it. We wrapped it up almost a year ago from now. So it's been recorded for a while. We were just waiting to release it at the right time, and we had we're on the road right now, so we thought it'd be more appropriate to wait a little bit. But we record everything. We're fortunate enough to have a very good studio in our home, and we recorded everything except the drums there, and then we went to a studio in New Jersey in the States to record drums. And then we also worked with a producer, Aaron Chaparian, who then mixed it and mastered it for us. So it was the first time we had sort of let someone else in. But when we heard the first mixes back, I was like, okay, here's the keys, you drive, because we've always done everything ourselves. But this was the first time with a producer, and we'll definitely do it again moving forward because we're very, very happy with the results. He really pushed us into, I think, new territory, and did some things that we wouldn't have done ourselves. So it was an awesome experience for sure.
What would you say was the most challenging part in making this album?
Challenging part, waiting to release it.
Waiting. I mean, as an artist, you always want to, create something and put it out immediately. But of course, it's not the smart or logical way to do things. So waiting for the right time to release it was definitely the most difficult part.
How is it the time when you are waiting for a long time to release something? Do you already start accumulating new material, or how was it with you?
I mean, absolutely. Sean is constantly up in the studio writing riffs, and he keeps a library of hundreds of riffs. So we've started banking some for the next album already.
So if we go to the songs of the Heretics and Lullabies, let's start with Walking Wounded. How did this become like the opening statement for the album?
We think it's a really strong single. We knew that we wanted it to be one of the singles. I think Napalm decided it would be the first one, but we think it was very important to come out with something very strong and a definite statement for the very first single off the album.
I think the video too is one of the we make our own videos, so that was like one of the favorites that we've ever made, and it was so strong that we just felt like, okay, if there was a choice of songs, that the video kind of took it over the top to be the first like bigger introduction, using Napalm's YouTube audience to Frayle. We just thought that was the video kind of like made the decision for us. I guess we're happy with it.
Talking about the visual language, how are you extending the Heretics and Lullabies era to visuals like videos, as you said?
So we've made 4 videos so far. I think 2 have been released. There's going to be 2 more, one a month from now, and one's going to come out right before the record release on October 10th. And then we met with Napalm a few days ago when we played Summer Breeze. We're going to make 2 more videos. And those will come out after the release, because we believe, and also Napalm believes, that there's a lot of good songs on the record and many songs worth making videos for. And because we enjoy it so much and kind of expanding that world that is Frayle, we're just going to keep doing it, and we're going to keep incorporating, like the Brides, for example. Like there's some visual language, the Sacrifice, that we're going to continue to incorporate into our visual storytelling, because when Glenn and I are in like music mode, we're always talking about music, and now when we get into visuals and video mode, we just talk about that. I mean, we like them. We like the music better, but we also really enjoy making the videos.
your music blends doom, shoegaze, I guess, or black gaze. So for you, what's the glue that brings it all together?
It's the glue. It has become just writing for ourselves to make it happy. We used to think about like genres or will this appeal to this crowd or what, how to do that. We just kind of stopped caring really about like what influences should be telling us, and we just with ourselves like, hey, do you like this? Does this make you excited? And the same, having that conversation. If we like it, then we put it out. So I think the glue is just like whatever we happen to be into at the moment of writing that song, musically anyways.
I think that what Frayle is kind of a combination of Sean doing his thing and me doing my thing, and then us meeting in the middle. So we write I write the melody and the lyrics, he writes the rest of the music, and we write those completely separately. Now, when we flesh out a song, then we come together and we decide, okay, this needs to be fixed or we need to do something extra here. But I think writing separately is key for our sound.
And we also get out of each other's way. I think in the beginning, we tried to maybe critique or influence what each other were doing. And I think we've just learned after, working together for a while to just get out of each other's way and let whatever wants to come out in an authentic way. And they usually end up meshing together pretty good with minimal effort that way, rather than like me jumping all over what her melody is or her telling me what riff to write or whatever. So it's really, that might be another glue point too, is like get out of each other's way. And when it comes together, are we excited about it? If so, then it's Frayle, And I think it makes it hard to classify us because of that, right? Like, I don't know how to classify us. Like, are we doom? Are we black gaze? Are we shoegaze? Are we post metal? Like, I don't know.
Was there some big production choices that ended up shaping the album?
I'd have to say with the producer, right?
Yeah.
What Aaron brought to the table. Like, for example, in Summertime Sadness, which is out now, before the first chorus, there's an extra long pause that we didn't have in there originally. And we got that first mix back and it had that pause in there. And that's when I was like, yep, whatever you feel like doing to it, you go. And of course, there were some things he did that, we weren't into, but there was more of it was things that we ended up being very into. And that's a good example of like someone else, us letting someone else from the outside sort of shape, what we're doing, because he was kind of on the same page with us. I mean, originally when we started, I said, I want to make a record that sounds like it was made, 20 years ago, not so laptop heavy, more organic sounds, real drums that are not perfect, guitars that are not perfect, like, the imperfection of recording to tape, even though we didn't record to tape, but we sort of treated it that way. I think that was a big, perspective that I wanted to start with, and then he just kind of took that and ran with it. So I think he added a lot to it.
And I think too, like Sean was saying, with the imperfection, that's a big part of who we are as well. I don't want the vocals to be perfect. In fact, they should be imperfect, because to me that lends a vulnerability and accessibility that you won't get in like a large production cookie cutter, metal. So to us, that's very important.
So why Summertime Sadness? Why this song? And do you think there's something that your reimagination of this song reveals that's not in the original?
I think Summertime Sadness, Lana Del Rey is the queen of American melancholy. So to us, it was kind of a natural choice. When we decide that we want to do a cover, we usually pick a few that we like, and then we kind of flesh them out a little bit and listen to them, and then make a decision based on how we have reinterpreted them. So after we went through a bunch of different takes with how to redo it, and then when Sean cut everything back and did those single notes, to me, that was what made me think, yes, that is absolutely the choice.
Yeah, the chorus was easy to write the music to, but the verse, I remember we were struggling with it, and Gwen left. She was on running an errand or something, and I was just sitting up there in the studio, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to get rid of every musical thing in the verse, just listen to the drums and her voice, and I'm just going to stand there and play guitar and not care about whatever happened before. And so the key, I don't even know what notes I'm playing, but it has really nothing to do with the original song in the verse. And then I sent that to her, and I just remember her texting back, yes, this is it.
Capital.
Yeah, she was excited. So that was something that we kind of just completely ignored, or I did anyways, ignored what was going on for the verse, like that weird guitar stuff that's happening. But the choruses, they came together pretty quick, because that song has an amazing chorus, and we didn't really have to reinvent the wheel on that one. But I knew that we wanted to put our spin on it, and I feel like that verse guitar tone was it.
Absolutely.
Gwen, would you like to tell a bit more about the process of writing the lyrics for this album?
So the lyrics for me are always extremely personal. They're about experiences that I've had, ways that I felt. Generally speaking, when I'm writing lyrics, I have, like Sean has a library of hundreds of riffs. I have a library of hundreds of lyric notes. So when I'm feeling something, or when I think of a turn of phrase, I'll jot it down. And then Sean usually writes the riff, and we decide which ones we want to flesh out a little bit. After I've written a vocal sketch to kind of figure out how the melody will go, I will decide, what do I really want to say in this song? What does this song make me feel? I'll then reference my lyric notes and see if there's anything that kind of gives me goosebumps, anything that makes me think, yes, this is where we need to go with this. And then usually that becomes kind of the more focused theme of the song. And then I'll flesh it out from there. But as far as the lyric in general, I mean, it's all talking about my past heartbreak, my emotions, any depression that I've been through. So it's, like I said, it is very, very personal. And it's very difficult as well when you're playing live to be up there and be that vulnerable and open in front of an audience.
What for you are maybe the heaviest lyrical lines on the album?
I think there's a line that goes something like, wrap you up in cellophane, the rust upon my razor, you'll taste the trouble that you made. And that's, for me, writing is a way to express myself without having to hurt somebody physically. It allows me to get that all out, and all that anger. So anytime that I can express it, souvenirs of your betrayal is another. I can't say that, can
I? Yeah, I mean, you could just give a lyric to another song.
Oh, but no, souvenirs of betrayal is already listed. Okay, so on souvenirs of your betrayal, there's a line that said, wasn't I good enough?
Was I not good enough?
Was I not good enough?
Yeah, what do you say there? Was I not good enough?
Just once. I wanted you
complete enough.
Yeah. Was I not good enough?
You're struggling.
Complete enough? Did I not give enough or take too much?
Yeah.
Just once I wanted you to be the one to be afraid of losing me.
Yeah, that's my lyric. The one she just said there that we struggled through. That's my favorite lyric of the record. Yeah. And when you hear the song, you'll get it.
Maybe both of you could maybe share a bit of a backstory for maybe a song that's maybe special for you in some way.
So for me, let's think here. When it comes to music, it's like I'm more about vibes than riffs, right? So it's not like a memorable Pantera riff. It's more like drones with something on top that is more of an atmosphere, I guess. Like that's what kind of gets me going, or the tone of the guitar, like the growl that it has. Like I'm more into that. And the song that we were just talking about, Souvenirs of Your Betrayal, the chorus is almost like sort of in the vein of like Sun O, where it's just like a whole lot of heavy guitars. And one of my favorite things about that chorus is the fact that it sounds like there's giant amps used, and there were, but like the biggest tone in there was this tiny little like Fender amp, this clone that my friend made for me, and it's like mixing tiny amps and big amps. Sometimes the little ones actually sound bigger than the little ones or the big ones. And so that song, as well as I think there's a song at the end that uses that as well. So I'm always interested in pushing like sonically how to make it sound the most intense and droney. And I just think it's interesting. Sometimes it's like the little amps that give you that as opposed to like a whole wall of towers of amps.
I think for me that Souvenirs is a very heavy song for me. Hymn for the Living is another one. I had some losses during COVID. I'm still working through them. But those two songs are probably the most heavy, and you'll be able to like to tell as well. I mean, they're, you know, Souvenirs is supposed to be like just a heartbreaker, and it broke my heart to write it. I don't think I'd be able to sing that song live right now, but Hymn for the Living, same thing, just working through things, very, very heavy content.